Well, we are now 5 episodes deep into Gotham Knights, and it's about the meandering train wreck that you would expect from Batwoman writers. There's still very little positive to say about it. I think the only positive I can come up with is at least when Harvey Dent is in a scene, I don't want to scratch my eyes out and blow out my eardrums. That's the only positive I can think about when it comes to this show. It has very little going in terms of plot. It's just, we need a file to prove our innocence to do with the murder of Bruce Wayne. And they've now done that, I'm pretty sure, at least in 4 episodes. And it's just a kind of rinse repeat. And they don't really go anywhere with it. They have the Court of Owls. They have all this other stuff, yet they choose to do nothing with it. It's just, what we got to do is we got to get one of our characters who is a fugitive, and, you know, his face is all over the news. We're going to get him to steal a file, and we got to get him to break into the GCPD and not get recognized because he has a fake mustache. And they done that twice. And then the other episodes is, again, we've got to steal a file from this place, and we'll just walk about like we're not fugitives at all. And that's pretty much all it's got going for its plot. In terms of characters, it's really light on that side. It really is. It's basically just, oh, they've all got daddy issues for some reason. And one of them's got daddy issues and mummy issues. That's honestly all they've got. But because we are 5 episodes deep, I think it's worth seeing how this show is doing in the ratings. And of course, it's not doing very good. If we actually have a look at how it's doing on the CW, at least, that's pretty terrible. It started off from 609,000 viewers, already down to 383,000. I don't know if that's doing worse than Batwoman. It almost seems like it. I mean, even looking at the demo as well, you can see how low that is. The demo is definitely lower than it was for Batwoman. 0.5% in the 18 to 49, priority demographic. It can't even, again, it's not doing well here. It really isn't. That is utterly embarrassing, but it is also expected because it's the CW. Most of their shows turn out the same way. If they don't start off that way, they all gradually get there. And over the course of the past few weeks, we've of course had, articles coming out about Gotham Knights. Bad reviews haven't stopped demand from viewers, and that's of course to do with the parrot analytics, which is just, if someone says something about it on Twitter, then that means, oh, the show's in demand. It's very popular. And that means if someone says, boy, Gotham Knights is absolute dog shit, they count that as, oh, that means it's in demand, when it's someone being negative about it. We've also had another article come out just recently that Gotham Knights is a major HBO Max Success. And again, I just have to go back to those numbers, and they're trying to tell me that somehow, when it goes over to HBO Max, that it's getting more people. It's finding major success. We'll read a bit of the article, but I just find this really funny that, oh, it's doing terrible on the CW, yet on HBO Max it's a major. I don't see it translating over there. But they say, while many fans may not have initially been sold on the idea of Gotham Knights, the show has seemingly found its audience via streaming. According to Flix Patrol, the CW's latest superhero drama is comfortably sitting at HBO Max's 3rd most popular series. Beaten out only by HBO giant Succession and The Last of Us, this placement also makes it one of 4 shows in the top 10 that aren't HBO or HBO Max originals. Gotham Knights' popularity surge comes amid the CW's downsizing, leading many fans of the CW to question the future of its stories. Well, I think when it comes to Gotham Knights, this is just what we had in production. I don't see HBO, I don't see Warner Brothers going, yeah, we'll let you have more of this. Especially with James Gunn's new DC universe. So it's something that's gonna last the season, and I don't imagine we'll see any more DC stuff from the CW. But they bring up Flix Patrol, and it's just something I find interesting because again, people seem desperate to push this narrative of everybody's hate watching everything, and I don't really give any credence to it whatsoever because the general public are not watching shows that they hate. I don't see that being the case. But if you actually look at how Flix Patrol base these numbers, apparently, is they say here that ranking points are not associated with the streaming platforms and they do not represent actual numbers of viewings or sales, but they are always based on the popularity ranking coming directly from the streaming platforms, which I just assume that, like Netflix has top 10 shows, Gotham Knights is in the 3rd position, and again, it's got nothing to do with viewing figures. It's not as if HBO can't go, put that in number 3, or it's not as if I don't think they've got much new stuff out. So in terms of viewers, I don't see this pulling in people. But again, it's already everybody's hate watching it, right? Apparently. But yeah, just looking at that, it's like so it's not actually just, even though you've got it on your list of 3rd most that doesn't actually mean shit then, because you don't actually have the viewing figures because streaming services do not provide it. And again, if Gotham Knights was this major success for HBO Max, if they would actually come out and say, it's getting these numbers. That's how you know if something is successful. Like we've seen with The Last of Us. That done very well in terms of viewership, so of course they're touting it. They're going, this amount of many million people watched this episode. Whereas you don't see that with Gotham Knights. Yet we have articles like this saying Gotham Knights is a major HBO Max success. And then you look at, the CW numbers. I'm sorry, if it's doing that badly on the CW, it is not doing well on HBO Max. Again, people seem to think that, well, they got 400,000 viewers. That's good, isn't it? No, it's not. A show really should be getting a few million, at least 4 million if it's really good. But we don't tend to see that with most stuff because we've got a lot of shite out there. So I just think if you're going off that and somehow trying to go, but on HBO, it doesn't really translate, does it? But that's where Gotham Knights is sitting at already. 0.5 in the demo, 383,000 people that watch this show. And I imagine most of those people, maybe older men, there's good looking girls in the show. So maybe that's part of it. Maybe it's, we left the TV on by accident when we went out for dinner that night. That's probably most, I just find it hard to believe that anyone's watching this show and like, this is great, this is. There's just nothing, there's nothing to cling to about the show. I have seen some people saying, it's not that bad, when it's, it's pretty shit. Some episodes are more annoying than others, just in terms of the actual writing. The past 2 episodes have done pretty much nothing. Again, it's just, we got to steal a file, go and get the file, we got the file, this file says this, and then the next episode they do the same thing. And it's like, well, you're now 5 episodes in, you got the Court of Owls, you still haven't really done anything with them. And it's like, there's no way you get to season 2. I think we all know that, just based on, even James Gunn has spoken about, Warner Brothers were just handing shit out like it was nothing. So I don't see, especially with this DCU stuff, that shows like this are going to continue, that they're going to hand off shows to places like the CW that are filled with just dog shit writers. But that's how the viewership's doing. The hate watching stuff, I just don't give any credence to it whatsoever. The main people that, I wouldn't even say I'm hate watching it. I'm watching it to roast. I'm just taking the piss out of it. It's very much low-hanging fruit, shall we say. But that's how it's doing on view. Again, 5 episodes in. it's already cracking up to be a big, massive failure as expected.